Joseph had been in prison for a long time, but God had not forgotten him. One night, Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, had two very strange dreams. In the first dream, Pharaoh saw 7 healthy cows coming up from the river. Then 7 thin, sick cows came after them and ate the healthy ones. In the second dream, Pharaoh saw 7 full, good heads of grain, and then 7 thin, dried heads that swallowed the good ones. Pharaoh was troubled. He called all the wise men of Egypt, but no one could explain what the dreams meant. Suddenly, Pharaoh's chief cupbearer remembered Joseph, the young Hebrew who could explain dreams with God's help. Pharaoh sent for Joseph at once. Joseph was quickly cleaned up, shaved, and dressed in new clothes before standing in front of the king. Pharaoh said,
"I hear you can explain dreams."
Joseph humbly replied,
"I cannot do it by myself, but God will give the answer."
Joseph explained that both dreams meant the same thing. God was warning Egypt about the future. There would be 7 years of great food and plenty, followed by 7 years of terrible hunger. Joseph then gave wise advice. Pharaoh should choose a wise man to store food during the good years so Egypt would survive the famine. Pharaoh was amazed. He said,
"Can we find anyone like this man who has God's Spirit?"
That very day, Pharaoh removed Joseph from prison and made him second in command over all Egypt. Pharaoh gave Joseph fine clothes, a gold necklace, and his royal ring. Joseph was only 30 years old, yet he now ruled the land under Pharaoh. The people bowed to him, and Joseph traveled through Egypt, preparing for the years ahead. Just as God said, the good years came, and Joseph stored huge amounts of grain. Then the famine arrived, not only in Egypt, but in many lands. People from everywhere came to Egypt to buy food. One day, Joseph's own brothers arrived, bowing before him, just like in the dreams Joseph had as a boy. They did not recognize him, but Joseph recognized them at once. Joseph did not reveal himself immediately. Instead, he tested his brothers to see if their hearts had changed. He spoke firmly, accused them of being spies, and asked about their family. He kept one brother in Egypt and demanded they bring their youngest brother Benjamin to prove they were telling the truth. When the brothers returned with Benjamin, Joseph saw that they truly cared for one another now. Judah even offered to become a slave in Benjamin's place. Joseph could no longer hold back his tears. He sent everyone out of the room and cried loudly. Then he said,
"I am Joseph, your brother."
The brothers were terrified, but Joseph spoke kindly. He said,
"Do not be afraid. You did not really send me here. God did. He sent me ahead of you to save lives."
Joseph forgave them completely and embraced them with love. Joseph told his brothers to bring their father Jacob and the entire family to Egypt. Pharaoh gladly agreed and provided the best land for them. When Jacob heard that Joseph was alive, his heart was filled with joy. He traveled to Egypt, and Joseph ran to meet his father and wept in his arms. So Jacob and all his family came to live in Egypt, in the land of Goshen, where they were safe and cared for. What began as suffering ended in blessing. God used Joseph's pain to save many lives and keep his promises. And through it all, Joseph never stopped trusting God, whether in a pit, a prison, or a palace.